first Caravan stop. And
You're all
launching.
over the place.
I know. Get used to it. But no, just your first Caravan stop. I mean, I know you've made some other speaking stops. What do you expect? What do you hope to convey tonight?
Well, I think, obviously it's a great opportunity to get around the best fan base in the country, and Memphis is a very big part of our football program. And so to be able to come here and kind of mingle with everyone and kind of, get our message out and, just it's a meet and greet, and, I think it's important, that we do these things, and I look forward to them because obviously we have a great fan base. So to be able to interact with them and also our great donors and our boosters and all the people who support Tennessee football.
Has it been impressed upon you? I know you had some relationships in the city of Memphis from your days at Cincinnati, but has it been impressed upon you that there's maybe some work to be done here on Tennessee's behalf, and that you guys have sort of an uphill fight here?
Well, I have great respect for the city of Memphis, and obviously we walked in the door and there's a few great friends from Memphis welcoming us, and Memphis is very big to us. We are the state institution, and so I understand that the great football that's played here, the great high school coaching that goes on here. Obviously, our staff has recruited this area for a number of years now.
Butch, you referenced getting your message out. Just how important is it to use tonight as a recruiting tool, whether you're on TV, on the 11 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news, where guys are going to be seeing it and maybe some show up?
Well, I think it's very important that we're visible, especially here in Memphis. And Memphis means so much to us, but, it's the visibility, it's the access, and like I said, it's great. And we have a lot of great things going on at the University of Tennessee. I think there's no secret. We have a lot of momentum. We have a lot of energy. We have a lot of excitement surrounding our football program right now. And I think it can be felt not only throughout the great state of Tennessee, but throughout the course of the country. So to be able to come here and kind of share that vision and add to that excitement, looking forward to that.
Can you talk about how spring training is going?
Well, we concluded our 15 practices with the orange and white game, and obviously what a great environment. We had over 61,000 people come out and support our football team. And along with that 61,000, over 500 former players, including Arian Foster, and Eric Berry comes walking across the field midway through the fourth quarter. So obviously that was great to welcome back all of our former players as well. And obviously we just finished up school, and now we're taking about a 3-week break. And then our players will be back for their summer classes and our summer strength and conditioning, the next phase of the development of Team 117.
You mentioned that next phase. What goes into this summer work, and what makes a Butch Jones summer maybe different than what they've experienced in the past?
Well, I think first of all, summer is one of the most important time frames in terms of the development of your football team. I really believe that's where your leadership is born, becomes a player-led football team. All the leadership opportunities that present themselves, but the accountability factor, building team chemistry, is paramount. All the great teams, the teams that win, they have one common ingredient, and that's team chemistry. And that comes with accountability, and all that is born throughout the months of the summer. And so obviously they'll be with Dave Lawson and our entire strength and conditioning staff, but a team can really be born at this particular time. I thought we laid the foundation, the groundwork with a very productive spring, and so much development can be born through the summer months. So I'm excited to see when they report in August to see exactly what comes about, but I will tell you this, they'll probably run more than they've ever run in the summer months.
What has been the biggest challenges so far making this transition?
Well, I don't know if there's any challenges that have been greater than any other challenges. Obviously, I think the biggest challenges is developing, the standard, the expectation, the foundation. Because really, if you look at it, first of all, we were 15 practices behind because we didn't go to a bowl game. So that was the mindset, that was the mentality that we had when we approached spring football. But then again, to implement obviously your offensive and defensive and special team philosophies and schemes, and more so the mentality, that we're going to play with. You really have, 11 opportunities, because you have 3 opportunities in helmets, and then obviously your spring game. But I've been encouraged by what I've seen, and obviously we have a great product, a great brand, and so there really hasn't been any challenges that we haven't faced before. And I like the mentality of our football team.
Butch, go ahead, Wes.
In terms of the academic situation, I know the semester's kind of just wrapped up this week. Were there any problems there? Did everybody kind of get through okay?
As of today, yes, we're waiting on final grades, but I tell you what, I think our players have really attacked the academics, and that's the standard, that's the expectation in our football program is not only do we expect to win on the field, we expect to win off the field, and I think our players have really embraced that. But I'll know a little bit more where we're at, in probably the next week, but I don't foresee any issues.
In terms of, I know there was some report in the AP, I think, about Daniel Gray that he had decided to go somewhere. Is that accurate, and is there anyone else deciding to do that?
Yeah, that is accurate, and Daniel Gray's gonna try to find an institution closer to home, and we wish him well, and, we're helping him through that process.
Is there anyone else that's, I know it's kind of a natural thing during a transition. Has anyone else kind of come forward at this point?
No, and I think every individual, when you're dealing with 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old individuals, sometimes there's family circumstances, beyond an individual's control, and all individuals have different reasons, but I don't see, but, we understand we have a standard and expectation, and we're not going to compromise.
Butch, go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, we've been here in the city a couple of days visiting with some kids, and some of them talked about getting phone calls from your coaches the very first day they were able to make those calls. I mean, how quickly did you identify Memphis as an area that you guys needed to work on?
December 7th, 2012. And prior to that, at the other stops we've been, as I said, Memphis is critical in our recruiting. There's tremendous high school talent. There's great high school coaches. There's great people, and obviously we have formed a lot of relationships over the years of recruiting Memphis.
Butch, with Greg on, I think your second team at times with 2 walk-on cornerbacks. How important is it for guys like Malik Foreman, Cam Sutton to come in this summer, even the guys that are already here, whether it's a Nas Oliver that was farther down the depth chart, to really take advantage of a thin position like corner?
Well, I think that's probably the biggest example where college football has changed, and that's the early reporting date of your freshmen. And I think for them to get a jump start with 6 credit hours leading towards the true academic year, I think is a really great benefit for them, but also a benefit in terms of they can be in a college strength and conditioning program, the team chemistry, there are no, you come to camp and they're not building relationships, they already have those relationships built, so that's going to be important. And obviously, those individuals, we promised that they would have an opportunity to play as true freshmen, and that they'll get that opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.